Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're listening from. I'm White Eagle Medicine Woman, and I'm the Executive Director of the Whirling Rainbow Foundation, the Grandmother Drum International Peace Project, and the Drum for Change Global Network. It's with great honor that I've been invited to speak to you today about the 8-8 Global Drum Gathering. My beautiful brother, Dennis, who was given this powerful vision at a very important fulcrum point to ignite a worldwide drum for peace, unity, self-love, and sustainability. And as we are at this fulcrum point, I wanted to speak to you today about how important this intention is and its timing. I'd also like to thank my beautiful brother, Jim Greywolf Petruzzi, who goes way back with our organization as a board member and as a community mother drum keeper of our Drum for Change global network. We now have 150 community mother drums globally, of those that we've trained through 7-day trainings to hold these kind of vigils with us worldwide. We have over 6,000 drums that we've made in person with people around the world of our hoop drums to help ignite the eagle and condor prophecy, as well as another 6,000 baby drums or quadroons of South America. And this is part of our mission with the Grandmother Drum International Peace Project, is to unify through the heartbeat of Mother. I would also like to honor two amazing elders that will escort us through the 8-8 Lions Gate. Grandmother Tarka Kailia from Alaska, who is a global community drumkeeper, advisory board member of our organization, and an amazing consciousness activator for the last 75 years. Also to her side is this amazing star knowledge elder, Chief Golden Light Eagle, the Nakota Sundance Chief. They both crossed the Rainbow Bridge on the same week, and they are holding that gate open for us and bringing us with their medicine to the next level of the open heart, the soft heart, the strong heart, the clear heart, and the light heart to light our way. So I'd like to speak to you today about this incredible fulcrum that you have entered. So thanks for joining us with your drums, the images of your drums, your prayers, your stories that are scrolling across this Facebook page have been amazing. There are over 11,000 of you strong around the world, and we have over 350 drum circles representing 60 countries. That is the spirit of the new earth and us rising to this occasion. But as you step into this circle, you not only step into this global drum gathering on 8/8/21 that will be launching at 11:11 a.m. your time from around the world, but you also step into a larger network that began 20 years ago, and we are right at the fulcrum where the next 20 years of the grandmothers and grandfathers' prophecies are unfolding. The grandmother drum was given to me in vision and dream over several years. It was 1999 when the Mayan elders said, and the grandmothers said, this is the moment. The grandmother drum would be born as the heartbeat of all nations. It would be, as they put it, they were midwives. They were grandmothers of the new millennium, midwives at the ring of fire. And they spoke about this ring of fire as a physical place on earth that we know of as the geologic ring of fire. And they asked us to start to build this crystal inlaid drum, and you see grandmother drum behind me, that is now toured in 20 countries and traveled over 1 million miles over the last 20 years, doing this kind of activation. And what they wanted this sound to do is to release the pressure on the ring of fire, where the earth mother was birthing the new children of earth, the children of the sun, from the era of the Homo sapien into the era of the Homo luminous humanity. And these contractions that we have been feeling in the birthing process has been the 20 years leading up to 2012, but that grandmothers point to this led all the way to the Mayan count of 2020. This 20-year process, birthed through the 2012 gateway, was so that in 2012 we would have 8 more years. They said that we would have 8 more years, grace years, to let go of the destructive top-down patriarchal systems that were binding our planet and separating us and providing a place that was no longer sustainable on the earth level or on the soul level. They asked us to ignite these global drum vigils for peace, unity, and sustainability, because if we hear the sound of grandmother drum, we hear the sound of the drum, we will find our way through the storm. And in the Mayan calendar, this storm was really culminated in 2020 by the last of the cycle of blue lunar storm in the Mayan calendar. Very, very powerful year. We are at the fulcrum now between the storm and the yellow galactic seed, which just turned the wheel on July the 26th, the day out of time in the Mayan count. So we are now 13 days at 8/8 to the first, what they call 13 count wave spell of yellow galactic seed. So we are in that together on 8/8, and the purpose is very clear. For the storm years, it was to help us to shed all of the false self systems, all the beliefs, all the structures that were no longer earth resonant, and to take our place as star seeds. And this is very, very important at this 20-year seeding now that we begin. And they spoke of this and created the Drum for Change Global Network, of which you enter with us today. You can click below in this link and join the larger network, because we start a completely different cycle today in this era of 8/8. The Drum for Change Global Network has for 20 years done all of these vigils across the world, joined by Global Love Day on May the 1st, Summer Solstice on June 21st, Fall Equinox in collaboration with the UN Peace Day and the Global Earth Dance Collective. We have been working with 360 cities in 60 countries and our 150 drum keepers worldwide that are trained. But this was to help people through the storm years, to shift and make that shift and let go of a world that is collapsing before our eyes. But the grandmothers spoke about the next step 20 years ago. And I want to acknowledge Dennis for his vision and his courage to follow that vision. Because as of today, the grandmothers have been speaking to me through the night for 3 nights now about this message that they gave me 20 years ago. And that Dennis has heard the call for 8/8 to be the fulcrum for the next 20 years of our work together. So you not only join this gathering, but you have the opportunity to join the network, because we have some very specific guidance, very, very specific guidance for the next 20 years of these global events, and the focus and the exact intentions for each of them. And so I'd like to speak to you today about that, so that we're focused together. And that we're able, whether you have a hand drum, whether you are a keeper or want to be trained as a community drum member of our organization, or whether you're just making prayer on this day of 8/8. The more that we're unified in that prayer, the more powerful it can become. The Maharishi did experiments back in the 70s with transcendental meditation. And they would all collectively pray for a city on that day for peace. And the studies have shown that the crime and violence rate went down on that day in that area. This is the power of our intention. And when you add drumming to that, you only amplify that intention. And we know our thoughts change the world. And this amplification, we cannot fail. We are an army of lovers that shall not fail. And this is an important step because we received another piece of guidance that I want to share with you that's going to make this even more potent. When we called upon this message 20 years ago, other elders stepped in to give us messages of the next step at the 20-year point. And it was a beautiful elder named Jim Shannon. He was one of our community drum keepers on the north of the Hawaiian Big Island. And Jim is a very famous elder. He was portrayed in the movie Men Who Stare at Goats. He was played by Jeff Bridges. It's a true story of his life. And Jim started an amazing initiative that he called the New Earth Army. And he recently also passed into the spirit world and gave me an initiative back in 2010. And last night he appeared to me to say, this is the time at the 8/8 gathering to fulfill that initiative. He had asked the Whirling Rainbow Grandmother Drum Project to be the pipe and drum corps for the New Earth Army. And I thought that was quite humorous, and it was in total Jim Shannon style because he was a military officer and had many trainings. And so it was just like him to say, you know, I'm putting you in charge of the pipe and drum corps. So I'd like to send out that invitation today that Jim had sent to me to start that, and that 8/8 would be the fulcrum, the first of our global events, to not only include the drummers, but to include all the flute players into our medicine. And the theme that has come at this time from the elders and the grandmothers is one sentence that may help us with our intention for this gathering. And that is listening to the heart, following the beat. Listening to the heart, following the beat. And this is a two-part sentence. Listening to the heart has to do with our flute players. It helps us to connect to the space between the beats. And that's incredibly important for this 8/8 Lions Gate. That while you're just going to keep drumming on this day, your spirit and your heart needs to be focused in the space between the beats. This is a profound knowing because now we access our Star Nation elders and the keepers of these star seeds that we open our consciousness to now. And so they've given us a mantra that we can use as we move into the 8/8 prayer. So at 11:11 on 8/8, as we all begin our prayer, they gave us this three-part mantra that we can say to hold our intention all across the world. And you can say it with me. I am the light of light everlasting. I am the light of love everlasting. I am the light of life everlasting. So say it with me again. I am the light of light everlasting. I am the light of love everlasting. I am the light of life everlasting. And this leads us into that rainbow bridge as the 8-8 Lion's Gate opens and the light of light everlasting comes into us, and we bring that next level of love into our consciousness. Because this one is about self-love. It's the only thing left. It's the only thing you haven't tried. And that is the second statement. I am the light of love everlasting. And the third is to ground that through the drum beat into the body, into the consciousness of your body, and into the earth body. I am the light of life everlasting. And my final message for you for this ceremony comes from the center of the Ring of Fire, our beautiful kahunas of the Hawaiian Islands, in another amazing trinity that matches this. So we have our intention now. What is that intention? Listening to the heart, following the beat. What is our mantra? I am the light of light everlasting. I am the light of love everlasting. I am the light of life everlasting. And with our kahunas and with the Huna principles, we take this charge deeper, deeper into the core, because the grandmothers say that we're moving beyond earth sustainability now to underneath that is the soul sustainability. And in order to stay aligned through the enormous chaos that we are going through the eye of that storm right now and completing those storm years, we need that absolute guidance to know our way. The drum is helping us to source that. It's going right to the core. And here are the 3 Hawaiian principles that can guide you, not only on 8-8, but for the entire next galactic yellow seed year and the future Drum for Change events that we invite you into participating with us. We need to do this together. We're united. The first principle is kina ole, a very, very powerful, powerful word that's never misused. And this will help you if you remember even just this one for the next year. Being at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing for the right person, for the right reason, the first time. Being at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing, for the right reason, for the right person, the first time. This will keep you aligned as we move through the storm and begin to seed the new earth with our consciousness, as we move from Homo sapien into Homo luminous. And the drum activates the memory of our Star Nation origins and why we came here. The elders call it being in vertical time, understanding our purpose. And we have 5 sacred purposes that I teach and explore with people through trainings. Our second one, just as important, is kuana, kuana, kuana. This beautiful, sweet love affair with spirit. It says, when I say kuana, it's like, oh, oh, great spirit, I'm here, I've shown up. Bring me all the resources and connections and people and situations I need to fulfill my mission. It's like we perk our ear up in Kawana. We're on our vision quest and we're waiting. It's not a command to spirit, it's a love affair. And the third and final K in these three principles of Kina Ole and now Kawana comes the third and final one, Kauna. It's more about not what you're doing on 8/8, but how you're feeling. It's more important about how you're feeling in these times, not what you're doing or even what you're thinking. It's what you're feeling. The Hawaiians call your navel your na'au. And the kauna is being able to listen and see through the eyes of the navel. It's your gut knowing of how to navigate this period of time. Where's the truth? The grandmothers were so poignant about this and said, you need eyes to see and ears to hear to navigate through this enormous storm of false information, of truths, and you have to find your way through that. And this pulse is guiding us to the second 20-year cycle of the Drum for Change Global Network as we continue to see more community drum keepers put the drum and train you in the use of the drum for this kind of quantum healing. Is we want you to have that understanding from the grandmothers and grandfathers that this 20-year cycle has ended as of July 26, and the new cycle begins with the 8/8 Lionsgate being the first wave spell of the Mayan count. And the first of this wave spell of the pulses is called unity in galactic seed. And so we're like all unifying to get underneath this fulcrum together so that we could have eyes to see and ears to hear. It is my great honor to be asked to ignite this in you today, to plant this galactic seed in your consciousness as you navigate this quantum leap. And that we can come under this very, very simple phrase, listening to the heart, following the beat. I am the light of light everlasting. I am the light of love everlasting. I am the light of life everlasting.